Monday the 11th of September 2023. Wonderful sunrise across the Derwent Bridge Hotel, as well as a pretty solid frost. Lots of ice on the car and around the site. Off to the Lakes and Clair National Park, getting a couple of the short walks, or 2 short walks combined into one. I don't know, 5 or 6 kilometres, something like that. That's the agenda for this particular day. We got some clouds going on above the Derwent Bridge Wilderness Hotel. All that activity this morning, everybody's gone. We're the only ones here. However, the old dude in the big Land Cruiser next to us was noted emptying a bucket of yellow material that looked disturbingly like piss. It has, however, turned into quite a beautiful day. Clouds gone, sun's out. I think we're only going to get to 9 degrees today, but it looks nice all the same. Unfortunately, no snow, just cold and a bit of ice. Possibly snowed somewhere, I don't know. We'll have to look around and see what the interwebs are telling us. The start or finish of the overland track. We're at the Lake Clair and St. Clair, something I dearly like to do. I don't think I'm going to get around to it. I think it's nearly 80 kilometres. Here we are heading along one of those, just a combination of some short walks around Lake St. Clair. It's a pretty good track so far. I don't know what it turns into, but it does turn into the overland track, which is 80 odd k's across the cradle. The Lake St. Clair National Park, one of the walks, and believe it or not, wood. And there's another big bit of wood. Big bit of wood. Just becoming organic matter on the floor.
This living tissue is exposed like a sore, and fungi and other microorganisms infect the tree's cells.
That thing's called a burl, and I've just learnt something for the day. More wood. A lot of big trees down in this part of the world. He came off there. That's a solid bit of kit. Oh, they sawed him down. Must have presented a clear and present danger to humans. More wood. Wood everywhere. That was another big tree, that one. Spears right back up into there. Look at that beautiful straight grain wood. In this particular gathering of moving pictures and sounds, I've decided not to add any music or do continued voiceover, just leaving the sounds of the forest, if in fact it is a forest, because there are times when the silence is that deafening, for want of a better word. It's astounding, just the peace and tranquility that is offered, except for the very annoying continued auto-focusing of the big lens on the big Canon. The track's getting a little tiny bit more agricultural now, which is good. That's what we came here for. Club moss. Certainly quite cool in here. I'm stunned by the amount of big trees that have come down over the years. I guess it could be 40 or 50 years they've been falling, but gee, there's a lot of them. Here's another one up here. This one's a bit more recent. The track's sort of been remodeled around it. Man, it's a big tree. And flowing on down wherever it flows to, into Lake St. Clair. Here's Lake St. Clair. It's Australia's deepest freshwater lake, carved out by glaciers back in the day when glaciers were a thing, or the thing here. That is the way to Cradle Mountain, only about 78 kilometres to go. The enormity of some of the walks or hikes in these places We did the tiny little bit right down in the bottom right hand corner, that little circuit there. Have a look at the size of some of those other ones. Other than that, other than the peace and quiet, you just hear that annoying noise of the autofocus and the big cannon. I haven't actually used the big cannon while I've been walking along on manual focus. And don't want to walk 5 or 6 kilometres, get to the other end and figure out I have nothing. Anyway, it's annoying, but it's there and it's not an issue for me. Other than that, you can hear perhaps me breathing, and at times the very comfortable Merrill walking shoe on the ground. That's the pink mountain berry. Button grass. This is button grass. Pump House Point. I do believe that is snow on the, snowy caps on the mountains in the background, and some pretty sweet goings on with the clouds. Hopefully we can pick that up. We can see it on a bigger screen, or we can edit it so that we can see it. Really interesting structure. Pump House Point, another very tranquil place, and I should know more about those mountains. I should have done a little bit of research. I think Mount Rufus will be one of them, but I don't know which one. There's a lot of mountains in Tasmania, and they've all got a name. Pump House Point was once part of a hydroelectric scheme, now very boutique accommodation for those that want to shell out that sort of cash. We are hooked up again at the Derwent Bridge Hotel. Not a bad little campsite. No water, no power. I can get water across the road. Tuesday, the 12th of September 2023. Day 44 on the road. Very murky day today. Showers overnight. Suffice to say, not going to get a big yield out of solar panels here today. While hooking up, I noted the dude in the van next to us jogging backwards and forwards from the hotel carrying a bucket, plastic bucket. So he was jogging over with a bucket full of water, giving it to the partner who was stirring stuff up with a stick, washing it theoretically. He wins my no, fuck that award for the day. Just didn't look like fun at all. I guess it was 60 metres across to the hotel. This van over here is being pulled by a rather small Hyundai. Just does my head in. Not sure why you do it. Be a pest on the roads and dangerous. Derwent Bridge Hotel is located right on the Lyle Highway. Got to look back a little bit. It's set back in the brushlands a little bit. A few eucalypts around. It's about 7 kilometres from the visitor centre at Lakes and Clair, from which, of course, you can walk the 80 kilometres across to Dove Lake and Cradle Mountain. That's a very big rock, some moss at the Derwent Bridge Hotel, or just outside it. The ice on the road sign for when there's ice on the road. Here I am looking at the Derwent River as it starts its journey from Lake St Clair, just a little bit up that way, a few kilometres. There are some talented artists around, and put that up, you're going to be standing in running water for a while. This is the Derwent River, or the River Derwent, starting on its way. It runs down through Hobart and out to the coast there, and that's the river that the boats, yachts sail up when they do the Sydney to Hobart. So I'm assuming that water would be beautifully, pristinely perfect. It's 175 kilometres by road to Hobart. There's a few bends and winds in that. Not sure of the distance the river covers. No doubt the river bends and winds possibly somewhat more than the road. The water does look really nice. And there's a signpost to put it all in perspective. It's actually 5 into Lake St Clair National Park. You can go down and have a look at Pump House Point as well. If you're that way inclined and you want to stay there, Looks like it's possibly booked out till about February. Not as expensive as I thought it would be. Not cheap either. And I just go back to that old value proposition tree that I run things through. Another mossy rock at the driveway of the Derwent Bridge Hotel, underneath a big old gummy. Less than 10 metres from a bin. Another classic Tasmanian bridge. Bend on, bend off, really narrow. Must be some work going on. Well, there is obviously, because we've got the old traffic light game going on here. We're being waved through a red traffic light. I hope I don't hit that bloke in the arse that's bent over there. Jesus, mate, you want to be careful. Fuck, it's going to be tight.
Is he going to move?
Thankfully, he has moved.
Not much.
Oh, what are we doing here?
Slow. Oh, don't stand up now, mate.
Yeah, there's a bit more coming, brother. Jesus Christ, they're gamer than I would be. And here we go on the bend out. There's lots of them down here. In fact, we'll see one later when we get over to the west. That will explain itself when I get there. And another Tassie classic. We've only got the bend in on one end here though. It does look like it's going to be narrow. Oh, it's the Ouse River, or Owls River, or Owls River. I think that's the correct way to say it. Owls. So, it's a bit of a bend, but they've given you a bit of straight off before they pop that bend in. But that's another Tassie classic. Back in Mina, on the way to Deloraine. A bit more pleasant of a day today. It's about 12 degrees, I think. Good to see the statewide billiard supplies man is in the house. That, of course, is the Great Lake Hotel at Mina. Just been through a couple of little village type places that last time we came through in 2016, they gave me the feeling that I didn't want to stop. And now, totally transformed. Have become very trendy and chic. Have a look at this view. We're at about 1100 metres and we're looking out over the Great Lakes, which were once part of some hydroelectricity, maybe still are part of some, but some of it's been closed down. Pretty glad we could get off here actually. Just give a bit of a wider angle view. That is the Great Lake, that's what it's known as we make our way from Derwent Bridge to Deloraine. Just a fabulous view. We are at about 1100 metres. I think we get up to around 1250 on this road. Now I know I was babbling back there, but just need to leave the wind in for my benefit so I remember what the wind was. So don't take any notice of that. So we now make Deloraine our base for the next 3 days. Rubbish is starting to annoy me, and I'll say a little bit more about that later. Our next stop is Liffey Falls. Another interesting road in, interesting bridge.